So red flag number 1. So no input or development from clinicians. So if a company, so does a company have to be clinician owned to give great value to clinicians? What are some advantages to working with a clinician versus someone who's not a clinician? So just in general, right?
Yeah, I'm not a clinician. I think I add a lot of value. So I don't know that it necessarily needs to be a clinician owned. While I think that there is a benefit to that, but it depends on what area you need support in. So I don't think that you need to have like a financial advisor that is a BCBA. I don't think that's necessary. I certainly wouldn't look for a BCBA as an attorney either. I don't think that is necessary. I don't think that my accountant needs to be a BCBA, right? So there are many areas that I don't necessarily think that you need a BCBA. But if you're starting out an ABA practice, I guess this is to the newer business owners, and you're maybe you feel like there's areas that you need support in as far as clinical, then yeah, absolutely get a mentor that has that extra experience that can guide you through the clinical side of things. But I think that the vast majority of the people that you're going to need help from or eventually delegate don't need to be a BCBA or a clinician.
Yeah, I agree. I also feel like in some areas it's very helpful if someone's a clinician. I mean, you've worked closely with clinicians.
Yes.
And you were very much a part of building our company, so you learned a lot just from that about like the clinical piece. And I think if you're in, something like a marketing, I don't think you don't have to have a BCBA, but I do think that when you're writing copy and you're like marketing, doing all the things that marketers do, I feel like it's very helpful to have a BCBA, to at least to understand, and maybe even to be an RBT, having some understanding of like the ethics and just the culture of what we do. But yeah, I mean, I don't think you have to, but I do think in a lot of cases it does like help. But yeah, like an attorney and some of those positions, it kind of almost wouldn't make sense. Now, what is nice though, if those non-clinician owned businesses that provide services to ABA businesses understand what ABA is. That's really nice. It's not a deal breaker necessarily, but it's very nice. And I think that we are meeting new people every day in the space who aren't clinicians, but they have a good understanding of ABA and what it is that we do in our field. And it's nice not to have that 45-minute intro of, okay, let me try to explain what ABA is and how we can incorporate and how we can help.
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, it depends, right? So let's say you need to build a website. I'm not so sure that that needs to be like, you're going to get a developer, right? For something like that. Same with an attorney. I'm not certain that they need to have ABA experience. While it can be helpful, the problem is it's kind of very similar to HIPAA. You need something to be HIPAA compliant. It's going to drastically increase the price, right, of the service. So with an attorney, you're looking for someone with ABA experience. That is going to drastically increase the price because of it does.
And just to be clear, I'm agreeing with you that that you can work with non-clinical.
No, I don't.
But that there are some that's really nice when they are BCBA.
So like with an attorney, you're like what I recommend, because it's going to be very rare to find an attorney that's going to have ABA experience. That's hard to find. So, and normally when you're looking for like an employment attorney, I do recommend that you try to find someone that has some kind of home healthcare experience, simply because they'll kind of understand a little bit of how it works. Because a lot of like employment attorneys in some states, they're thinking, oh, okay, this is a 9-to-5 office job, right? And they just don't understand the nuances and the rules that you need to follow. So in that situation, like margin keepers, I don't know if this is going to be this could be an ad, but margin keepers, they understand ABA, right? Like that's super helpful when you're in that space. Megan was an RBT. She's got like a certification in OBM. So she understands this. And I do believe that is a benefit when it comes to a biller. Not only does she have a lot of experience in ABA billing, but she understands ABA. I think that does add. Matt, our marketing person, he does understand ABA. Like, we've talked about this, but like one of my biggest pet peeves with the 15 marketing people that we've tried over the years is like they would say, like they would use it, ABAs. You're looking for ABAs. No, I'm looking for ABA companies. I'm looking for ABA practices, right? Just things like that someone in this space wouldn't say, right? It's going to really cause issues when you're trying to market your stuff. So yes, I do think that having some experience in the field will be a benefit. But it's not like you said, it's not a deal breaker in some cases.